Today, I take pleasure in welcoming Srikanth Ram, the author of Leadership Lessons from 22 Yards, which is doing very well for the past few months that it has been published. It's become a bestseller in Amazon. And listeners, let's have a blasting session with Srikanth Ram, and he's an all-rounder. Over to Danya, she will explain how all-rounded he is.
Hello, fellow lobsters. It's been a while, and this time we thought of bringing to you an author who's trying to combine fiction with non-fiction, which is basically a self-help, management-related, leadership-related book. So, Mr. Srikanth is a multifaceted dynamic leader with 20 plus years of experience in P&L of Lifestyle Retail, Apparel and Exports. He's also the author of the #1 best-selling Leadership Lessons from 22 Yards. And it is an interesting comparison of cricket and corporate life. And it is targeted on entrepreneurs and leaders to create high-performance teams and a winning culture. He's also a motivational speaker. He's also a runner, a cricketer, and he has many masks that he wears through his life. And for the benefit of our listeners, we're just going to make him put on one mask, that is the author's mask, and take us through the session. Welcome, Mr. Srikanth. A very hearty welcome.
And yes,
thank you.
He doesn't have to wear the pandemic mask now. Going to the first question of the session, it's a basic one. When did this inspiration of the leadership book came in you, and how did this connection between cricket and leadership come in you, and was it long that you carried that concept in you? Can you start with that, Srikanth?
Yeah. So thank you, Jayanti. Thanks, Danya, for having me here. Firstly, I have to say it's a great thing that you're doing for the community. LOL I think, is contributing huge. Thanks for having me here. So to answer the question, what's inspired me? In 2011, India won the World Cup, Cricket World Cup. And I was fortunate to meet Gary Kirsten, the Indian cricket team coach, just 2 months after winning the World Cup. And it was for our corporate session that Gary came, and he was telling how he and MS Dhoni went about building a team that won the World Cup.
Oh.
And it was not much difference to what happens in a corporate setup. To win anything, you need to have a good team. You need to have trust between the team members, and you need to have certain values, and most importantly, the process to get to that winning the cup. So that inspired me actually to bring both these worlds together, that is the corporate and the cricket. And I thought I will view the story of the leadership lessons from 22 Yards.
So in 10 years, the book comes out, and Danya goes to ask for the next question.
Yeah, my question is, when it is I'm not sure if I should call it a self-help book or a management motivational book, but when such ideas are brought out, especially through fiction, where do you limit your fiction, and where does the non-fiction part start?
Okay, great question. So the fiction is just an enabler to tell the message. The fiction is not the hero. It's the the cricket and the leadership traits that brings out a great leader. So it has to be underplayed. The fiction is just underplayed. It's relating to the reader, because I talk about resilience, I talk about goals, I talk about building teams and all. So the fiction is just an enabler for connecting with the readers. And there are many books in non-fiction that is in this style. For example, there is a one of the all-time bestseller called Goal by Goldratt. Then there's a book called Outward Mindset. So many books are there which brings the fiction to tell a non-fiction traits or non-fiction message.
So, shall we go into the publishing part, the publication challenges? You were already a known motivational speaker, and you were well connected both in your profession and passion. So, did that help you reach to a publisher? Did you have options of many publishers? How did that go about? That's an important thing for us.
Yeah. I've been in corporate life for last about 27 years, and doing some cricket related blogs and speaking. But I was very clear from the day one. If I have to do something, I want to write a book, and if I have to do that, it has to have a lot of value in it. Second, it has to reach people. Third, I was given the option of the traditional way of publishing versus self-publishing. So I went about, I'm a person of a process. I go detailed into each of the things before I come to conclusion. So both the options were available for me, but I took the self-publishing route because I wanted to reach as many people. And secondly, the wait in a conservative publishing way was was long. And it is, I don't blame the system, but one has to establish oneself and then go into conservative publishing. So I went into self-publishing because again, as I said, I'm a process person. So just to give you statistics, 40% of all books sold are self-published books in Amazon. 28% growth year on year on self-published books. Over 72% of the author who earn $100,000 and more is in self-published. So it was easy choice for me.
Interesting. That's a big, good statistics for all our aspiring authors. And Danya?
Yeah. Our next question would be, so let's say if you, as you have already mentioned, that there are in the market a few books which, and also well-established books which use fiction as a tool to reach the message of non-fiction. So my question is, when there are pure self-help books, right, there will be exercises in the book, and there will be like quotations or like specific messages, explicit messages that the reader can use from. But when it is through fiction, right, there's a story around it. So it is basically like want it to reduce the customization of the idea for the user for his own personal good. Are you getting my question, or should I repeat it?
So your question is, normally in self-help books, there are questions and quotes to motivate people, and in a fictional book, how you bring it, right?
Not just that.
Yeah, and how would like see, you might have written the book in a particular mindset, and through your life experiences or through your ideals. But when other self-help books, they usually have exercises. Like when you give in an idea, the reader can use the exercise to customize the idea to his own life. But when it is through fiction, the customization value will lower, right? And the point that you make across will be perceived by the reader in his own mindset. So do you think this will work better than the usual non-fiction self-help books?
Okay. So firstly, in my book, I have got this questions for readers to answer and ponder for themselves where they are in their life. There are quotes from inspirational people. So let me give an example. Okay, my first chapter of the book is called Goals, and I'm a goal coach, and I see a lot of people don't have a clue on how to set goals in their life. What are the areas one has to set goals? So there are 7 areas in life you need to set goals. For example, everybody wants wealth. do we have a written goal? 99%, if you go and ask people, what is your wealth goal? They'll say, yeah, some weird number, and they're not clear about it. So one of the things that one has to do is write goals. And I see a lot of people confused between income and goals. Income, wealth is something that you do, what you do out of the income, how you save, what you do out of your income is wealth. So these are the things, and you tell this through a fictional story. A person who doesn't have a goal goes about is a wreck, and the moment his father tells how to write goals and do it, he goes really big. And that's the law of nature and law of attraction and law of affirmations all talks about this. Now, why I'm talking about this and where is this cricket coming from? What happened in 1983? We had a captain called Kapil Dev who said to the entire team, the goal is to win the World Cup. There was this Narayana Murthy who came from nowhere, worked hard. What is his goal? To create wealth to himself and the people around him. So that was his goal. He wrote that. So and these kind of inspirations are always there in real life. We just need to take the inspiration and move. My story is, am I relating Kapil Dev Narayana Murthy story with a fictional story? And when I give it in a fictional story, it's very powerful. And I ask these questions: what is your goal? Do you know your goal? Do you know the areas in life that you need to set goals? Do you know the process to get those goals? So when you answer all this, you are a winner.
So that's interesting.
This element of exercise through the book.
Yeah, there is an element of exercise after each chapter to tell the readers, what they have to do in life. It's a life book, I would say. It's nothing to do with. I mean, it has got a cricket as a metaphor, but a corporate life as a metaphor. But the first 3 chapters is related to any ages. I've got a bunch of youngsters, 15-year-old younger, who saw the book and started writing their goals.
Oh, fantastic. Well, coming to this Amazon bestseller, can you tell our aspiring writers how you did that? Okay, the book has been published and it's in the market, in Amazon and all, but it's not like it used to be before. Nowadays, you have to do, as an author of the book, you have to do certain things so that it reaches wider readership and reviewers, and if you want, in the bestseller list and all that. What did you do? What were the strategies that you had in mind, and later on also modified it, picked up from other people? You can share with us, please.
Yeah. So as I said, this book has been a long journey, and though I started writing actually in 2016, in between I lost the way in a lot of work to do, and I lost the way, and I actually picked it up when the lockdown happened, and I said I'm going to finish it. As I said, the process orientation that I had was helpful. First, I started writing. It was I think it was about 40,000 words was there, and I wrote about many personalities. Then I researched and said, and I found that the 25,000 to 30,000 words is the sweet spot in especially in non-fiction books, and that has got a lot of readership. Then I said, okay, that's the focus I will have. The third is on. I was very clear from the day one that whatever happens, even if it has to delay by another 10 years, it's okay. But when my book comes out, I have value to readers. So I was giving to my friends to read about that. People who know me, people who have inspired from me, started reading about it. And one of my friend, you have written a blog. There's a lot of difference to writing a book and a blog. I said, what? So it was more of essays in the beginning, like Kapil Dev story is there, and I'm comparing with Narayana Murthy. There was no fictional story. then he said, have you seen this movie called Lagan? And I said, yeah, I've seen this movie. What's great about it? I mean, it's one of the all-time great movies that has been done. I know that. But what is so great about it? So then he explained that nuances in that movie. If you see that movie, there is all cricket controversies are there, real life cricket controversies. That is last ball six, the new ball doesn't spin, LBW. So a lot of controversies of cricket is there in that. What is the next one? There is a love story, which is a fictional story. And the third one is the British domination, which is a real story. All these three has been viewed into a beautiful story. He said, this is what you need to have. You got the content right, but the context is what is very, very important. More than the content, the context is important. That second changed me. I said, okay, this is great. And I've got a lot of things in my life to share on the context part, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I started rewriting the entire script, and that's how it came. On the bestseller, as I said, any book can be bestseller provided it has a lot of value to it. Number one, if there is no value in the book, you can just there are many hacks to get to bestseller. I'm not getting into that. You can play with the categories and all that. It's okay, but you need to have value in the book to get to the readers.
That is, of course, the basic. But I was mentioning about the social media reviewers and professional reviewers, or the media print, or the visual media, getting interviews and reviews, and those must have helped. And if they have, please do share with us how it that do you have any good stories behind those reviewing of the book in social media?
A lot of people have, a lot of readers who read about it have took to the social media by themselves and who've got a lot of following. So that is the first thing I would say, rather than you self-engaging with influencers and bloggers and influence that is one way to do it, and I'm also doing it, but the litmus test is the readers who are themselves having a lot of followers putting in, and then organically the traffic is generated is the great thing that can happen to any author. And I think any author should focus on that, collaborating with the actual readers who are inspired by the book, because a lot of people wrote to me and said, this happened in my life and it was exactly what you're saying, and it inspired. Then I said, okay, can you do a testimonial for me, because you were so emotionally connected with the book. And they were very, very happy to do that, and that's how I got many readers coming in. And of course I engage with reviewers, bloggers, and first thing that I want to tell them is, get the essence, because I want this message of setting goals and having a purpose in life to reach many, many readers. So if they connect with that, if they see what I am trying to see out of the book, and I engage with them.
I saw in the Amazon, the very first, I don't know if it came out to be that, Sharad Babu's review. He begins with this: after I finished this book, I had goosebumps. That's how he connected with that book. I'm sure it's not because he was your friend, he is your friend. I'm sure the book really has that. I'm really eager to read it. Over to Danya.
Yeah, my question, and I think with this last question, we can wrap up this segment and we could go to the next segment of World W's. And my last question for this segment would be, see, analogies are very common, right? Two people from different parts of the world can just share the same analogy. Like, let's say in fiction, any writer would know, like the hair flows like the river, and the eyes, the way like the comparisons are endless, and the comparisons very common. My question is, how do you make sure that your ideas are not plagiarized? Because in fiction, at least, we could copyright the story of the book. How would you stop from anyone stealing from your work? And have you done anything for that?
Whether I understood the question properly, because there was a lot of disconnect in the line. But see, my coach tells me all the time, don't worry about people copying. Everybody is unique. It's like your fingerprint, and if I'm telling my story about the journey, I mean, there cannot be another story like that. You have to really go deeper, and Srikanth and his story is very unique. So I don't worry about people copying or anything. I just taken Narayan Murthy story, Kapil Dev story, Ratan Tata story, Sachin story, and said, what is this leadership traits can help people to be successful? And in the larger part of it, how, if you are a manager or a leader, how it can help you in a corporate environment where you want to motivate your team.
And did you have to read many books before you came up with this? Like, did you have to read the life stories of Narayan Murthy or through the books of the other? And has it influenced your writing?
Yes, definitely. I have to do a lot of research on the 16 personalities I wrote about. Not only that, I've got some concepts like Ikigai. I speak about a leadership pipeline. Many concepts are there. Management concept, leadership concepts are there, and how to give this concept in a very simple way. For example, all of us know Dhoni gave the captaincy to Virat Kohli, and there was a process to it. He ensured that he played under Virat Kohli to motivate him, inspire him, and get him as a great leader, and which is what is today. And look at in the corporate environment, Dhirubhai Ambani groomed Mukesh Ambani to be a leader, and that's what he is today, right? So there are examples. I've researched that, and and in a corporate setup, people are holding on to the chairs, and they have to. One of the things Gary Kirsten taught me was leaders should become obsolete. What does that mean? I mean, like, he went when he was at peak. He retired. He resigned from Indian cricket team coach just after the World Cup. He said, "I've done my objective. I've delivered to my goals." Yeah. So somebody else has to take over. So these things are very unique, and I mean, I've researched, and there are concepts like this, like we need to change. I mean, they pass on the baton. How you need to pass on the baton in a corporate setup, in a real life setup, in a sports area, like how a father has to, give the family responsibility to his sons or daughter. There is a beautiful way to do that.
Yeah, true. So how,
as we speak with you, we are as we speak, we are understanding the research part behind this and the statistical research, because we have been speaking to so many fictional authors and non-fictional authors, and they have researched more on the concept, and for you it's more on statistics, and it is very, very rare to come across people who are so well researched, and they know what they're doing.
Yes. Srikanth, how is this book going to universities and cricket clubs and libraries and such? Are you doing anything special for that side?
Great question. Thank you, Jayanti, for that. Yes, my objective is to take this book to as many young readers as possible. Connected with few colleges like Christ College. So I want to take that and give it at a subsidized price. My objective is to not make money out of the book, but my purpose is to ensure that there is a message out there, it reaches people. Yes, cricket fraternity, I mean, close touch. IPL is around the corner in next about 10-15 days. So we are doing a program around IPL. We are doing a program around universities and especially people who are writing 10th standard and 12th standard exams. They are not clear with what they want to do. This book this book can be read in 2.5 hours. So it will give a clarity for them what they want to do in their life. And I have got a simple formula for finding what you want to do in life and what you will enjoy doing in life. So yes, great question. I'm going to engage with a lot of universities, cricket clubs, and a lot of young people.
Fantastic. So, what do you have some tip to any aspiring authors who want to do a book on motivational, anything, any particular, not necessarily leadership and cricket, but what it takes for aspiring writer to how to go about and get to the book stage, and any few tips, important ones that they have to.
Yeah, there's only one I would say. I've already said that. A lot of people, a lot of authors are spending more time on the content. Anybody can give the content, and if you research and you can today in digital world, you can get content after content, and you can take from any book and paste it, cut, copy, paste. But I would say content is important, but the context of the way you put it across, what is your experience, how you are giving your journey, or how you are seeing the world, and connecting to that concept and saying this worked for me or this would work is the most powerful way, because there are a lot of books that is on content and content and content and content goes on forever, but the context is makes the book
brilliant,
very, very interesting.
Brilliant point. And I think
time for
yes, so
it's time for word of the week.
Yes, we will be going there. This was new, don't you think, Danya? The context is
very much new,
yes,
new, because
especially and this book by itself is a combination of non-fiction and fiction. I'm really eager to read this book. Anyways, shall we? Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Srikanth, could you talk a little bit about the author mentorship program that you're running and how our listeners can benefit from it?
Yeah. So when I finished the book and got published, a lot of people came to me and said, we didn't see that side of you. Where was this author hiding in you? And there's few people said, I've been wanting to write a book, but I don't know how to go about and all. The first thing that people have is fear. Will my work will be recognized? People will throw stones at me when they read, I found a lot of people like that, and I said, okay, why don't I take it up on myself and help people who are budding authors, but they don't know how to go about and do. As I said, if you look back, all the dots are connected. As you go on the journey, the dots are all over the place, and that's where the first time authors are. So with my experience, with my journey, if I'm able to make the authors who are budding wiser, why not? And it's a small fee that I would charge, but I will be there for their lifetime till their book is published and beyond that as well. So that's what I want to do.
Fantastic.
This segment is called Word of W's, which is W questions like what, where, when, how, why, and all that. So this is a segment where we ask you the questions, and that you do not have to be more descriptive about the answers, but just you can just be on the point, and it could be an elaborate reply. And this is for the listeners who don't have the time to go through the entire session. They could just scroll their podcast to this part and just get a gist of the entire session. It's like an epilogue to the session. So yeah, the first question that I would like to ask is, what was the difference between motivational speaking and putting that into a book, or like making it a non-fictional management related book?
When you speak, you see what let me give. If I was in speaking and this place, they just sent few hundred people out of jobs. So that is, in the speaking, what is the environment? Who are the people? What is that their state of mind? Then you don't understand that piece because the readers or audience is not there. So that's.
You have to, Auntie.
Oh,
Can you ask the next
there was a lag here. Okay, how long did it take for you to write this book? Only the writing part.
Sorry, only?
Only the writing part. How long did it take for you to write the book?
So it took about 4 years, I would say. But in between, I lost my way because of work and all. Then in the lockdown happened, there are a few things I said to myself: I'm not going to watch TV. I'm not going to do this, certain things. One of the biggest distraction for people is the mobile phones. I said, I'm going to keep mobile phones away when I write. That's those disciplines. Again, I speak about this in my book. There are
you
3
were
Ds in
also
life.
positive, COVID positive also, no?
Yeah, I was tested COVID positive though. So that actually delayed certain. I wanted to actually launch the book on the day of IPL that happened in Dubai. On the final of IPL, I wanted to launch. That was a target, but it didn't happen that time.
And how many drafts did you have to go through for the final version of the book?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a count of it. I don't have a count of it. As Steve Jobs say, once you reach the destination, you see behind, you will see all the dots are all connected. But as you are in the journey, it is all over the place. The dots are all over the place. So if I have to do it all over again, I will know exactly how to do it. So let me give an example again. So I was writing about Kapil Dev and Narayana Murthy, and I said, the original draft had Prakash Padukone because he also was very instrumental in getting badminton in the world map after he won
mainstream,
the
India.
So I had many like that. For example, resilience. I speak about Maravan Attaputtu, Amitabh Bachchan, and all. Take the example of Mary Kom. Fantastic sports person, enormous resilience, very inspiring. But I had to edit. It was very, very focused on cricket and no other sport. A lot of people have written to me saying that you've written about cricketers, but you're not. There are other sports persons who are there. Of course, there are. I mean,
but the book is like that.
Then I said then it'll be like 60,000 words or 90,000 words, which is right, which is justifiable. But as I said, my target, my goal was to get to that 25 to 30,000 spot. So I have to edit a lot of times. I mean, like I don't know how many times the manuscripts was redone.
So what's your next work, next book, and when is it due?
Okay, the next book is on my other passion. I'm also a pilot. I do adventure sport in paragliding. I'm a certified advanced paragliding pilot. So a lot of lessons have been learned in flying. So I used to be impatient person, but paragliding and flying has taught me how to be really, really be patient in life. And so those are the things that I want to bring about. But that is scheduled to be end of the year. Again, as I said, if I have to bring value in all the work I do.
Yes.
So till I find the value, to the standard that I want, I'm not worried about when it will come, but it will come for sure.
Is it Wings of Patience?
I've titled this. It's like naming the baby before it's born. It's pilot your way to life success.
Oh, again, okay.
Okay. Yeah. The next question is, who are your target audience, especially for the lessons from cricket? And, 22 yards.
Um, the title, as it says, anybody who is in leadership, managerial, people who are managing teams and all. But larger, it is for anyone, and especially the first to any age. It's a old or a 70-year-old, 80-year-old, doesn't matter. A 70-year-old also has a purpose in life, and one has to go about it. Age is just a number. So the book is more focused on leadership and managers and people who are working in corporate. It's related. The first few chapters relates to everyone.
So the last question: why always a self-help book? Why your passion is focused only there? Any reason behind?
I much of non-fiction books. Probably it's the way I am. I don't know. I've read few, but I'm more. It gives me a lot of inspiration, motivation when I read non-fiction books. I'm not able to put a point why I'm like that, but
no, I meant writing.
I love it. Just love it.
Writing in writing.
Oh, writing. Okay. In writing, as I said, I've blended fiction and non-fiction. So
okay.
The next book also will have a fiction and non-fiction blend. So I'm in best of both the worlds. Doing fiction and non-fiction.
Mm-hmm. Why? When will it be another, or will it be there purely fiction without this self-help and all? No connections, nothing. Only fiction. Romantic.
I've not thought about it, but I've not thought about it yet. But
okay, it was great talking to you, Srikanth. Thanks for coming to our LOL. And I must say, you didn't ask us what is LOL. LOL was coined by Sridhanya. She says, we all love literature. Does literature love us? Love of literature. So LOL. Thanks for coming. And I'm sure we are going to have you here for your next book. We'll be flying then in LOL, through LOL. Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you could say a few words about this experience and your last words for our listeners.
Yeah. So thank you, Jayanti and Danya, for having me here. It's been wonderful. Yes, I've researched about LOL. That's why I didn't ask about it. As I said, you're doing a fabulous job to the community. Again, there is 3 things my coach has taught me. So first is the community. The first is the mission. The second is the community, and the third is your individual. And the mission that you have is to give. The love that you have for the literature, you are giving it to the community, which itself is very, very noble. My best wishes for you to continue this, and many, many, many more readers and followers are there for you. Keep doing the great work. Continue to do this, and I'll be following you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for those lovely words. Thank you very much.